At long last. Looks like I'm the only motorbike. Yep.
Perfect.
The what, sorry?
Perfect.
Thank you. Well, about an hour or so, and I've arrived in Mull. Looking forward to this. Always wanted to come to the Isle of Mull. Going off what I've read about the place and what I've seen on pictures and videos, it looks beautiful. I'm sure I'm not going to be disappointed. Thank you. Oh well, that was quite a simple process, and I have arrived. Yeah, I think it's about half an hour's ride to get up to Tobermory, my first port of call. That's where I'm staying tonight. So yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm just passing through the little town of Salem. I remember a horror film from I think it was from the 70s, Salem Lot. Probably got no connection whatsoever, but it's just reminded me of it. Cute little town. Yeah, literally been riding, 15-20 minutes, and I just know I'm gonna like this place. It's I've been on some of the islands before, Isle of Skye, Isle of Arran, and a couple of others on motorbikes and cycling and stuff. But I just want to explore as many as I can, really, because they're just pretty little places. It's quite good because I got off the ferry. I was one of the first off, so I pretty much got this road to myself. Most of the ferry traffic that's following me is way behind. Not complaining. Yeah, this is just lovely. Even got the weather for it. Yeah, and honestly, kind of think of a more suitable bike for doing this today than the Meteor. Just such a versatile little bike, you know, lightweight, maneuverable, and as I've already touched upon before, I'm quite satisfied now with the reliability of it after owning it for the year. Pray that continues. I have no reason to think it won't. There we go, Tobermory to the right. That will be me. Yeah, it seems to be mainly the single track road, but most of the car drivers seem to be polite so far. No matter where you go in life, you always get stuck behind a white van. Yes, this is absolutely exquisite, I would say. White van in front of me aside. The scenery is it's just splendid. It really is nice. And this is just the start of it. I thought he was going to let me pass there, but he's not. Oh well. Yeah, I think when you get days like this in Scotland, I think you've just got to embrace it, because the weather's lovely today. What, 20, I estimate 23, 24 degrees, something like that. And as beautiful as Scotland is, it does tend to rain and it does tend to get cold. And I have neither today. I think the weather is going to be a bit worse tomorrow, but hey, I'll deal with it. You can't have everything in life. Live for the moment. Yeah, now I've been riding about on this bike for a while. I think gone are the days when I'm owning big capacity motorbikes. I don't know if it's just a bit of an age thing as well. I'm the wrong end of 50 now, but I just can't be arsed with large bikes anymore. I'd much prefer a nice lightweight one like this. So just entering the town of Tobermory, where I will be staying tonight. I think I might head to my bed and breakfast and dump a couple of bitses off, I think, before I go out and do a little bit of adventuring. Yeah, I've always wanted to come here, Tobermory. I remember as a kid, there was a TV programme in the 70s called The Wombles, and one of the characters in it was Tobermory. It's probably got absolutely no connection to this little town whatsoever. Yeah, The Wombles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a connection. But yeah, there was Uncle Bulgaria and Tobermory, forget the other ones. But anyway, here we go. This is Tobermory, exactly how I thought it would be. Beautiful. So this is my little room. Excuse the mess. Free biscuits. Not the best view in the world, but hey, I can live with that. A little puffin. And the bathroom. Small, but clean and adequate. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, to be honest, it's about the cheapest I could find. Obviously it's a weekend, it's summertime, prices go up. I think I paid £140 for this, which is with a breakfast, which ain't cheap, but it is what it is. Like I said, I wanted to come to Tobermory, so I'm not gonna whinge on about money. Yes, camping is a cheaper option, but I'm getting too old to go camping. But yeah, this should be fine for one night. Do me nicely. There is some beautiful little towns in the United Kingdom, but this is up there with the best of them. It really is. It's just exquisite. That's the only word I can think of. Exquisite. Proper hairpins. Now this is good fun. So just arriving at Calgary Beach. Somebody recommended having a look down here. I don't think I've ever seen sand this white before. This is just absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. This is borderline paradise. Yeah, this is a bit special. The Isle of Mull. That is possibly the nicest beach I have ever been to. I was kind of expecting this island to be pretty special, but when you actually see it in all its glory, yeah, just happy to be alive. Being around here, got to be said. Me and me Enfield, lovely. I just think I found another piece of paradise. I'm getting a little bit midgy to death, but that aside, this is pretty damn nice. Well, good morning. This is my second day on Mull, and I'm meant to be going back home today, but the weather forecast was absolutely crap, so I thought I'd book another night, and as you can see, the weather is actually pretty good. But anyway, I'm going to do this walk, the Aros Country Walk, Aros Coast Walk, something like that. I think there's some nice little waterfalls and stuff to find. But anyway, it's a good excuse for another night on Mull, which suits me fine. Well, just about halfway through my Aros waterfall walk, and just encountered this. How magnificent is that? Okay, it's day 2 on my little mini trip to the Isle of Mull. It's kind of early afternoon now. Finished my nice little walk, and the rain has stopped at last. It's been pretty incessant really, heavy showers, but I just went back to my little hotel room after my walk. Had an hour, and I thought, bugger it, I'm going to come out on the bike again. So I'm just heading down the little coastal road, which is very nice, single track road, nice pretty little views to my left there of the mountains or hills, and I believe there's a castle a bit further down here which I'm going to have a little look at. Forget the name of it. It begins with a D, that's all I can remember. Just an excuse for a ride out, to be honest. But yeah, the bike was left out all night in torrential rain, and went to start it this morning. Absolutely no problems at all. Another little confidence booster in my quest to have a reliable Indian bike. I touched on it earlier on in the video, but the more I use it in different conditions and stuff, the more confident I'm getting in its reliability. It's definitely up there now with the German and the Japanese manufacturers, I think, in terms of reliability. Yeah, all my kind of inhibitions about owning a Royal Enfield have kind of gone now. Yeah, I would definitely say I've now got the confidence with the bike. I mentioned earlier on how when I'd taken my bike in for a service a few days ago over in Glasgow, and they kindly give me a loan bike. I'll just let this guy past. Yeah, give me a loan bike for the day. And I was really hoping to get my hands on another Royal Enfield, to be honest. Something like the Himalayan or the Gorilla 450, something like that. But they didn't have any, certainly not as loan bikes anyway. And they ended up giving me a Chinese bike, a Benelli 800 Trail, I think it's called. First Chinese bike I've ever rode in my life. And I just sort of give my penneth on the Chinese stuff, really. I mean, when they gave me the bike, in my head I was sort of met with disappointment, really. Sort of just looked at the bike, got on it, and it was just I just seen it as a mode of transport to get me back to base, really, which I did. Parked the bike up and never even thought about it anymore till the following morning when I had to go and pick my Royal Enfield up again. You know, just totally disinterested in it, to be honest. But the second day, I thought, well, at least give it a try. At least, you know, maybe spend a bit of time on the bike, have a look at it, ride it a little bit, to make some sort of opinion of it, really. And they can't really form an accurate judgment, I don't think, in, well, I had it less than two days. Done, I don't know, somewhere between 100 and 150 miles on it, so not a lot. But I'll just give you my take on it, really. I mean, with the Japanese, sorry, not the Japanese, with the Chinese bikes, and this is purely a personal perspective, I've always doubted, well, the build quality. So I had a look around the Benelli. First things that stuck out to me was, it's just like little things like the switch gear. It just looked a bit cheap and nasty. The metals on the clutch and the brake levers just seemed cheap. Some of the plastics looked a little bit on the sort of budget side as well. So that was my initial opinion. But I had a closer look at the bike, sort of, you know, the engine casings, the welds of it, generally how it was put together. And to be honest, okay, I don't think the build quality is as good as, say, my Royal Enfield, for example, but it was probably better than I thought. You know, reasonably well put together. Did it do enough to sort of change my mind in ever buying a Chinese bike? Probably not. I mean, probably a little bit unfair because it's not a bike I'd be particularly interested in, like the sort of, I don't know, what is it, a sort of a adventure trail type of bike, I guess, that one. And I guess if there was a similar Japanese bike, which would probably cost 2 or 3 grand more, yeah, I'd probably inclined to go for the Japanese bike, to be honest. But from having complete disregard and, I don't know, disrespect for the Chinese bikes, I'm not saying I was wrong, but it was slightly better than I thought, as I say. The ride itself on the bike, again, not my cup of tea, but it was fine. You know, handled really well. It was relatively light. Didn't break down in the 2 days I had it. The engine was quite lively, but, and maybe I'm being a little unfair, but it just didn't float my boat, to be honest. I mean, I'll give you an example. You know, it's a classic case of, you know, maybe I'm out and about on this one, I'll nip to the shop to pick something up or whatever, and I'll always have a little glance back, and it brings a little wry smile to my face. You know, it's aesthetically pleasing, I guess, to me. But the Benelli, just didn't do it for me at all. It's not a bad looking bike, I'm not saying it isn't. And I think if you're on a budget, yeah, fine. I don't really know about the reliability or longevity of the things. I mean, they're fairly newish bikes, so it's difficult to sort of assess how reliable they're going to be in the long run. Yeah, I mean, it was okay, but would I buy one? Probably not. But, you know, saying that, I thought that about the Royal Enfield, you know. You know, like I said earlier on, a year ago when I bought this thing, if, for example, the Honda CG350 was still about when I bought this, I would have probably went for the Honda. So maybe my bias towards the Chinese bikes might be proved wrong yet again. Who knows? I always get excited when I'm going uphill behind a push bike. It's a rare opportunity to overtake somebody. So this is a little road down to the castle, I believe. Just have a little look-see. Might be of some interest, or maybe it won't. Nice scenery though. You know, I'm just thinking to myself, I would be more than happy to live on the Isle of Mull. Me and my Royal Enfield. Okay, that's alright. It's alright, thank you. I assume that's the castle over there. Dewitt's Castle. Again, I might be pronouncing it wrong, but that's what the sign said. Well, my interpretation of what the sign said anyway. I found most people quite patient on this island with regards to sort of letting people pass and all the rest of it. I mean, ultimately you haven't got much blooming choice, but yeah, people seem to be quite respectful of each other, which makes a nice change.
this is very civil. A flapjack. Outside of Duart Castle. Hello, mate. Yeah, quite a impressive little structure. Or big structure. Yeah, very nice. I bet this place has got some stories to tell.
Yeah, this is just, it's just lovely. It really is. Just a bit special, really. I'm on some, I don't know, single track road, the southern part of the island somewhere. Not entirely sure, to be honest. But it's just great. I'm going to head up to some viewpoint a few miles up the road. It's meant to be quite nice. Give that a go. Hopefully it's worth it. And the rain has stopped. The day just got a little bit better. I know I keep saying it, but really enjoying the meteor. Really enjoying it. It really is a perfect bike for this sort of thing. It's got more than enough power for around little islands like this. Just absolutely fantastic. Oh dear. A deer. He's not scared at all. Forgot what I was saying now, since I was rudely interrupted by the deer. Yeah, just going back to the meteor. I often kind of think to myself, you know, if something happened to the bike, I don't know, it blew up, it got stolen, something like that, and I needed to replace it for whatever reason, would I get another one of these? Unquestionably I would. Unquestionably I would have another one of these. You know, if I didn't have this, I would solely miss the bike. And I guess, like I've said earlier on about the Honda bringing their 350 out as well, yeah, that would be a consideration, admittedly, but another meteor would be near the top of the list, that's for sure. And the other thing as well, you know, if somebody asked me would I recommend one of these, again, unquestionably I would. I cannot remember having so much fun on a motorbike for such a long time, you know. Genuinely, it's just a pleasure to ride about on this thing. I mean, today, for example, because the weather's been a bit iffy, a bit suspect, and it's raining a bit now, but you know, so wanted to get out on the bike. It's kind of almost forgotten about the rain, to be honest. I guess if it was on a bike that I didn't really enjoy riding, I probably wouldn't have even bothered coming out today, to be honest, because of the weather, you know, but there you go. Well, just arrived at the Three Locks viewpoint. I was going to put the drone up, but it's too windy. The thing will blow away. But yeah, this is pretty magnificent. It really is. I've got the place and the mountains to myself. So coming to the end of my second day on Mull, and just final thoughts really. Obviously I can continue video until the cows come home, but I'm just going to end up with far too much footage, as tempting as it is, but there you go. Yeah, final thoughts. It's just been an absolutely brilliant couple of days. It really has. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is just, well, as you can see, you know, spectacular. I'm sort of around the southern part of the island at the minute. I wouldn't say it was traffic free, but it's rarely you come across many vehicles, the odd farmer or something. And like I've said probably countless times on this video, this bike, the Meteor, it's behaved absolutely brilliantly. I mean, couldn't ask for anything more, you know. It's been an absolute pleasure to ride these roads on it. I mean, right from when I got the ferry over from Oban to Mull, I mean, even on there, you know, I met some of the locals on the ferry, just going about the business, just good, honest, decent people. You know, give me a few little tips on the island, nice places to see and do, where to eat, that type of thing. It's just got a whole good feel about the place. Yeah, the Isle of Mull, I guess, is a little bit touristy, but because it's so beautiful and relatively accessible, I mean, it's only like an hour ferry ride from the mainland, it's going to be like that, but that doesn't really detract from my experience here at all. It's been just lovely, as I say. You've got your busy little towns like Tobermory, where I stayed, and that's got loads of character. It's just got a good vibe to the place. And then you've got stuff like this, where you're in the middle of the sticks, along the locks, the little animals everywhere. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by my presence. Yeah, I've seen an abundance of wildlife, just I've been a bit slow to video it really. You know, a couple of eagles, stuff like that. Well, I think they were eagles. Yeah, I couldn't recommend it highly enough. Just feel quite blessed, really, to be able to still be fit enough and in good enough health to enjoy this type of thing. Long may it continue. I just think life's too short, really, to waste your time not doing stuff. I mean, when I got up this morning, it was, you know, horrible rain and drizzle and blah blah blah, and it would have been so easy just to say, oh, procrastinate and stay in the nice warm hotel for a few more hours. But no, it's about, well, I think anyway, just getting off your arse and doing stuff, creating memories, you know. I would love to think I'll come back here again one day. I've got other islands I want to see as well, but you know, Mull definitely has a place in my heart now. It's just, I haven't got the vocabulary to properly describe how I feel about it, you know. It's just a special place. It really is. Yeah, I'm probably going to finish off with the video now. Just random thoughts in my head, really. I think we're all guilty of, at some part of our lives, or some time in our lives, of putting stuff off, you know, planning stuff and never getting around to doing it. There's a multitude of excuses why some of us never get around to doing stuff. But I just think it's part of our being, it's part of being human to have adventures and discover stuff. And like I say, it's so easy to procrastinate and end up doing bugger all, you know. Take the safe option. Sit on your sofa and watch bloody Netflix or whatever. And of course there's elements of risk and stuff that goes in your head doing stuff like this. You know, will the bike break down in the middle of nowhere? Will I get a puncture? Will I have a crash? What happens? I've got no phone signal. I mean, I could go on and on, but there's so many what ifs and maybes that if we let that concern ourselves, we'd end up doing nothing, you know. Life is a risk, it's full of risks. It's about risk and reward, and I think my reward the last 2 days has been seeing stuff like this. And it's been an absolute pleasure, it really has. Both from you know, the motorbike point of view, in terms of, you know, I'm not going to bang on any more about the Meteor. I've said what I've had to say. It's been absolutely brilliant. One of the best bikes I've personally ever owned. Certainly one of the most fun bikes in recent times. And I'm certainly not wealthy. And I only paid, what, just north of £3,000 for this. But I wouldn't want anything else, you know. I wouldn't want to be spending a fortune on a motorbike when this thing can do it perfectly adequately. And I can ride around with a smile on my face. So yeah, I guess just to finish off, bike's been great, Scotland's been great, the people have been really nice, friendly, approachable, helpful. Yeah, get yourself up to the Isle of Mull or somewhere similar. I don't know what it is about the sheep round here, but they don't seem to be bothered by you at all. Back home in Devon, they see you come and they run for the hills. These ones just look at you with contempt. Hard Scottish sheep, that's what it must be. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I say, I'm just starting to babble on now. I'm going to switch it off and enjoy the rest of my ride. Catch you later.